In the midst of all that, what's the Bush administration doing? They're like, perfect, people are distracted. Let's go nuts. So now they've introduced a new, not legislation, because that would have to pass Congress, and they don't want to do that, new rules from the Justice Department for the FBI where they get to spy on you even more. If you thought the illegal spying was bad before, wait till you get on the new ones. And all it has to do is pass by Michael Mukasey, the head of the Justice Department. Gee, I wonder if he'll say yes. He's been so independent before. He's a total Cheney rubber stamper. So, of course, this is going to pass. So I started reading the rules, and because I'm a naive young fellow, to this day I'm a little hopeful, and I thought, well, maybe they won't be so bad. And I started reading, and I thought, okay. And then, of course, they got terrible. So let me explain. I'm going to quote the Washington Post here. The changes would give the FBI's more than 12,000 agents the ability at a much earlier stage to conduct physical surveillance, solicit informants, and interview friends of people they are investigating without the approval of a bureau supervisor. So, look, they're going to go to informants earlier. I don't really have a problem with that. There might be a good reason why some civil rights advocates might be against it, but that doesn't really offend me. Interview friends of people they're investigating without their approval of bureau supervisors, that's a little troublesome, because that means if some FBI agent's got it in his head that he doesn't like Jesus, even without checking without a court or even his supervisors, he can go start talking to all the friends of him and be like, hey, what's going on? And if the FBI comes around investigating you and goes and talks to all your family and friends, that can cause a lot of trouble for you. In fact, it can get you fired in a lot of places. So I'm already a little uncomfortable, but listen to the first thing they said. They can conduct physical surveillance without even asking their supervisors. Remember, before we needed warrants for this stuff. Remember when the Fourth Amendment in the Constitution applied? You would have to go to a court and say, hey, can I go ahead and get a warrant for physical surveillance? Now, not only do you not have to go to court, you don't even have to go to your supervisor. So any FBI agent could be like, yeah, all right, I'm going to go ahead and do physical surveillance. So already these new regulations suck. But they continue. Such techniques are currently available only after the FBI agents have opened an investigation and developed a reasonable suspicion that a crime has been committed or the threat to national security is developing. So under the new rules, you don't need a threat to national security. You don't need reasonable suspicion. You don't need anything. You don't need your supervisor. You don't need a court. You just go ahead and do whatever you like. I thought this was the United States of America, not a police state. It continues. Authorities say the changes would eliminate confusion for agents who investigate drug, gang, or national security cases. What confusion? What, the confusion of having to ask your supervisor or getting reasonable suspicion without going into wild fishing expeditions, ruining people's lives? But that's not even the disturbing part. Wait, I thought this was about terrorism. What the hell is the drug and gang stuff? Now, I'm against drug violence. I'm against gang violence. But all of a sudden, of course, all of these great powers that were needed after 9/11 are not just applied to these cases anymore, to terrorism cases anymore. They're applied to all cases. So they can do physical surveillance or go talk to all your friends without any reasonable suspicion or without checking with anybody on any case. Has it gotten bad enough for you yet? No? I'll give you one more. Continuing to quote from the Washington Post explaining the new rule changes at the FBI that are going to take place in October. Quote, the overhaul touches on several sensitive areas. It would allow, for example, agents to interview people in the United States about foreign intelligence cases without warrants or prior approval of their supervisors. It would also rewrite the 1976 guidelines established after Nixon-era abuses that restrict the FBI's authority to intervene in times of civil disorder and to infiltrate opposition groups. You understand what that means? That means the FBI can go into any group they like in the U.S. as long as they call it an opposition group. Gee, I wonder which groups they're going to go into. You think they're going to go into right-wing groups, or could it be perhaps they're going to go into left-wing groups? And then they're going to say, oh, well, I don't know. They said they were for peace, but so we assumed they were an opposition group, and we had to investigate them. How do I know this? They already did it. Remember they went after the Quakers? They went after PETA. Not PETA, but another group. I think it was a group of vegetarians, right? Vegans, that's what it was. They went after a bunch of vegans in San Francisco. Why? They're an opposition group. They had to be infiltrated. What does it mean in a democracy to be an opposition group? I mean, isn't that part and parcel of a democracy? Does it mean an opposition group as in they're going to overthrow the government? Or does it mean an opposition group to the government? which is perfectly legal, and which is what our whole system of government is based upon. These people are robbing us of all of our rights right underneath our nose. And we're looking around Obama, McCain, Palin. What did Palin say to Charlie Gibson? Oh, we don't have the Fourth Amendment rights anymore? And the FBI, without checking with a supervisor or the courts, without a warrant, without reasonable suspicion, can just go in and do physical surveillance on you, talk to all your friends and family and your business associates, do an official investigation of you with no suspicion? That's not the America I know and love. These people, Michael Mukasey, the Attorney General, George W. Bush, Dick Cheney, and the entire Republican Party that signs off on this are America haters. They hate our form of government. They can't stand it. They want an authoritarian form of government. They don't want us to have our rights. They don't believe in the Fourth Amendment. They don't believe in the Bill of Rights. They don't believe in the Constitution. They don't think we should have a right for the government to be able to get a warrant before coming into our house. And by the way, one more thing on it. In times of civil disorder, what civil disorder? They're pretending as if there's some sort of great civil disorder in the country. They're like, oh, what could we do? We had to go in and violate all your rights and infiltrate opposition groups. There's no civil disorder. Look at what happened in St. Paul. The Republicans had a convention. About a couple of hundred, maybe a couple of thousand protesters. That's not fair. Maybe about 20,000 at max of protesters, 99% of which were completely civil, and a couple of ones that did something. And so they send in the SWAT teams, they send in the FBI, they infiltrate, and they go, oh, civil disorder, what could we do? We had to violate everybody's rights. They threw Amy Goodman in jail. This country is slipping out of control. And if another Republican wins, good night, Irene. Kiss your rights goodbye.